who was the evil, the Christians, the Mormons. Right. It wasn't the natives. The natives were actually being wrong and only defending themselves. All right, but go ahead.
Major Homestead Acts. The first one was the Donation Land Claim Act of 1850. Now, this happened right after the United States got a lot of land from the Mexican-American War. The second one was the Homestead Act of 1862. This was right after the southern states seceded from the Union, and President Lincoln signed this act into law, encouraging people to settle land out west, particularly the Plains states. The Homestead Act of 1862 was responsible for the biggest expansion of settlement in the United States. Then, of course, we had the 40 acres and a mule deal of 1865, which was meant to be reparations. And interestingly enough, this is the only one that did not benefit white people, and it's the only one that was rescinded.
Okay, stop it right
Isn't
there.
that...
Can I
Hold on, brother. I stopped you right there for a moment. For a reason. This is the definition of rescinded. All right? To revoke, to cancel or repeal a law, order, or agreement. So they purposely, and it comes from the Latin, but they purposely interjected and stopped so-called Negroes from being able to have autonomous wealth that they could pass on.
land ownership?
Everything in America is to prevent the Negro from having autonomous wealth. Even though, and they showed you that when with the drowned towns, with Elaine, with Rosewood, with the Black Wall Street, with the Black Belt here in Chicago. When so-called Negroes achieved any autonomous wealth, white people came in, so-called white people, Edomites, red people, and destroyed it. All right. So he rescinded the 40 acres and a mule to make sure, because they knew 40 acres and a mule, and these are people who are fresh out of slavery who knew how to farm. They knew how to build. They knew carpentry. They knew everything how to build because they built America. They built up the mansions that their slave owners lived in, the additions to their houses and their homes. They knew it all. So you give these people land and a mule and a damn plow, that's all they needed. All right? Well, it wasn't even about taking over. They just hated. It was too hate. Esau was just too hateful. Because when Jake was living autonomously away from him, they weren't hurting and trying to take over Esau. They were just trying to make it. And Esau, with his hate and his racism, he went in and he destroyed all those so-called black towns and settlements all the way across America. Burned them to the ground, and the ones he didn't burn to the ground, he flooded out and created lakes and then built luxury homes around those lakes, right over the bones and bodies of those so-called Negroes.
Damn, you know what? In those black
Lake Lanier,
in those black towns, they set up banks, they set up commerce, they set up their own Wall Streets, and they were not saying that they were following the law, statutes, commandments, perfectly, but they weren't exacting usury like Esau was. They actually were doing fair trade, and they prospered. Everybody was growing. Everybody was rich to the point where Esau would be looking at them like, "Wait a minute. How's that nigga on the nag? How he got the Cadillac with the big rims, and we sitting over here scraping because..."
And the families were together. Yep. You had the families were together, mother and father households and homes. All right? That was what was going on. But let it continue, Baba Kajal.
Here it is. Then, of course, you have the Southern Homestead Act of 1866, and we'll get into that in a minute. Now, the first one, the Donation Land Claim Act of 1850. It was meant to encourage people from the eastern United States to head west and settle this parcel of land up here called the Oregon Territory. It granted people 320 acres per person.
Okay,
and
stop right there. What's Canasta?
Right here. It says.
Let me know. Yeah. So, and did someone else do the math? It said 320 acres. So how much is an acre worth today?
An acre today is worth between. It says 4,000 and around like 15,000 per acre.
Per around, so it's between 4,000 to 15,000, depending. So let's go to the middle. Let's go to 9,000. Okay. And so it's 9,000 times 320.
That's $3 million for the.
Now, how much you think that was worth back then?
Right.
When money actually had a value to it.
Yeah.
So 300 years later, I'm not 300 years later, but 150 years later. Come on, man. And so that's generational wealth.
And they gave it away. They took every Edomite that was able to go on the land working. Here's free $3 million.
So that's welfare like a motherfucker.
Hey.
All right. But okay, now we heard that. Continue.
It would give you up to 640 acres. It's a huge bit of land. It was offered
640
to white settlers only.
If you were married.
Specifically.
So stop.
If you were black.
You got to do the 640.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is why they, they generational wealth. All those small towns out in the middle of, Montana and then Nebraska, Colorado, all that land that they got, and their kids, got hot rods and cars. At 15, 16 years old, they got big BMWs and new cars and all that shit, trucks. All right,
snowmobiles.
This is why. This is how it happened, because of welfare. White people and welfare go hand in hand in America. Not the so-called Negro, not the so-called Latino or Native American.
That was already here.
But white people.
And it was $320 per person, so they just doubled it. It would have been still.
So if you are married, you got
$6 million, according to today's amount right now.
That's crazy.
All right.
And a lot of people.
And how can
did
it,
back then.
right? And then how can any other so-called race in the so-called country that's open for everybody, and how could they even come close to catching up to even competing? We have none.
It's an earring right by your foot.
So here it says, when I was looking at the first one, the Donation Land Act of 1850, when it goes to eligibility, it says white settlers, both men and women. Now here it says on the impact, it says it also led it also led to conflict with the natives. And then it says for racial exclusions, the law excluded black, Hawaiian, Indian, and Asian settlers from the land grants, contributing to the racial homogeny of the region. Which
so anyone who was brown.
Yep.
Said Hawaiian, and Asians were a lot darker in the 1800s. They intermixed with Esau even more so over the last 100 years or so. But I've seen the images of them, of the Japanese and the Chinese, going back to the turn of the century, right around 1900s. They were still really dark.
Mm-hmm.
They were just as dark as and darker than most Negroes collectively. All right. So anyone brown was
cast out
from exactly anyone that was swarthy. All right.
Swarthy
people.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they made sure that only red people, the real red people, which is so-called white people,
right,
were able to have prosperity as far as land ownership and the opportunity to have autonomous wealth that they could pass on from generation to generation.
And not to mention, every single one of those on that from the Oregon Trail on down. All right. Every time when the whites said they gave them numbers, plaques, they went out and set up their whatever. If there was natives on that land, Jake on that land, whoever was on that land, they fought and killed them off that land.
5 cents a scalp.
Yeah. And then the government would help them. They would supply. They would help them and reinforce.
They gave Winchester rifles. Mm-hmm. They gave repeater rifles. Mm-hmm. Winchester was a game changer. Those what they call them, 1864s. What do they call them things? Because they're real popular again right now.
Yeah, that was
those lever action rifles that made a comeback. They're real popular right now.
Yeah, that was
what they do is they modernize them and make it modernize them and making them more tactical now. They look more like it's built more like an AR or M16
right.
versus or Henrys.
Yeah,
those Henry repeat lever action.
Yeah.
They are firing 45 long, 357s, a 410 shotgun. And so now all of a sudden, if every household had a repeater, 2 repeater pistols where you could fire over and over again, versus the musket.
Right.
So you had 2 repeater pistols, and you had 1 or 2 rifles.
Now you can hold the people off.
You can do a lot of damage. And so if you arm every family with those.
Oh, and they glorified that with that TV show, The Rifleman.
Yep. Oh wow.
Con, you're right, and that was the rifle was popular in the 60s, 50s.
Chucks, Yep. The Rifleman. Yep, sure did.
Was that in color and black and white?
It was started in black and white.
It started black and white. Because I remember watching the reruns when I was a little kid.
I used to watch it. I used to watch it too, so I can't even say nothing. I used to have a good.
Yeah, because he.
Yeah, that's how they open the show. With
how
him
they do
getting
it.
it off.
That's how they
They open up. He gets about 5 shots off. Then he'll take it. He'll hit it. It'll spin around in his hand, and then he'll start loading. And he walk.
And that's a
I
dude
can see
playing
the whole.
Roots, right?
I can see the whole intro.
Yeah,
Play
it was
Tom
him.
Moore. Tom Moore.
Yeah, he was Master Mo, I believe.
Yeah, he Master Moore.
I mean, he was Master Mo.
Yep.
Right.
But that when he was an older guy.
Yep.
All right. Go ahead.
Or indigenous, you were not involved with this deal at all. And of course, one of the biggest downfalls of this was it encroached on native lands. So even though this territory was officially the United States at this point, nobody was out here. This was just the Wild West. So this was native tribes living their lives. And as white people started moving over from the east out to the west, taking over, encroaching on people that were already living there.
Oh, somebody look up the word encroach.
100%.
Definition of encroach.
Encroachment.
Online etymology, get that.
Yeah, get into etymon as well. You get, go ahead, brother.
Verb, encroach, to encroach upon anything or to creep upon unto it.
Creep.
With some
Damn.
intent. Often implies moving, degrees, occupying, or keeping. Hold on.
Occupying or keeping.
Right, occupying or keeping. It says to seize wrongfully.
Oh, there you go.
All right. And then
Remember that
actually
part
goes
right
into,
there.
it goes into the second part of that word.
So-
it goes into crook.
Crook.
So why is it that American history books don't reflect that? American history books, you know, they'll tell you this. They push this story together about how the natives just sold Manhattan for a couple beads. Oh wow, they got plastic beads. Wow, here you can have this whole island.
Hey, check this out. It says
Yeah.
occupying or keeping what one thus takes.
Ooh. So that goes back to what you were reading. Now you can bring it out.
Hey.
Yeah, Micah,
Hey,
Yeah,
I got
Micah,
another
yep, there you
definition.
go.
Con, bring it out, brother.
Because in this encroach it says to intrude gradually, stealthily, or insidiously upon the
insidiously,
rights property of another.
Insidiously. What is a horror movie called Insidious?
Insidiously?
So intrude,
Look that word.
because it said
I got
intrude. So it says to thrust or bring in without invitation, permission, or welcome.
Wow.
So and basically everything that the so-called white man has,
Yeah.
this is how he got it. Insidiously.
And it's
Intruding. Alright.
insidious
And
means
his history doesn't reflect that. They try to soften it up and make it sound like everyone was just happy to see them,
right.
and that they were just wandering around, lost, and
They
it was,
came to help.
and Disney birds and Bambi and shit singing,
Right.
whistling while you work and shit.
Come and civilize them.
Right. Exactly.
Insidious means proceeding in a gradual, subtle way, but with harmful effects.
Ooh, that's a bad.
So ooh, a harmful effect. So all the scalping, all the rape, because that's where you get the word squaw. Squaw means pussy. Bring that piece of pussy over here. You saw that in Prey. All right, how they had the no, not Prey, but what was that movie? Ravenous with DiCaprio when the French dudes tied the guy like Chris.
Revenant.
They Revenant. Ravenous was about cannibalism, and that was Esau doing that shit too. But to natives and to people, yeah. And they had the Gadite chick tied to the tree, and then all the Frenchmen would come up behind her and just ride her against her will while she was tied to the tree. Well, they would just come up and lift up her shit, and they would hump her while she's tied to the tree.
Damn.
So they tied her face first to the tree with her ass up. And so they would, so they'd be sitting around the fire drinking and shit.
Oh shit.
One
Let's
of them
go
would get
there.
up, right?
Don't
Then
mind.
he'd be done. He'd go sit down and eat. The next one would get up, stumble over there. That's what they were doing, man. Squaw. Yeah, this is the white people's history. This little
Timmy.
Tommy, all right, little Jennifer. This is how your people got wealthy, and this is why you have autonomous wealth. and you have a really nice Christmas every year.
What's the
Well,
dude-
you used to because now America's falling.
What's the dude from last week? We was Matt what?
Matt
he
Walsh.
Said, Matt Walsh.
Matt
That's what he
Walsh.
said. He said
Mouth Walsh.
he's proud.
Right,
He
Matt
said,
Walsh.
I'm proud of America history and what we had. The brave guys who came over here and subdued the land with all them savages. That's what he said.
Yeah,
and
he
had a whole
called
bunch
them
of-
the
yeah.
savages.
Yeah.
Right.
But at least
You-
it's
you-
big.
You rape, robbing, and murdering, but they're the savages.
Right.
This Sirach 10 and 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
There it is, man.
And the elder called for me to finish this one here, which is Micah, the 2nd chapter. I'm going to cut verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. This all came, and so I start off from Edomite sitting on his bed and saying, you know what? Manifest destiny.
Yeah.
Let me just go ahead on and just take what's not ours.
Evil plan.
And they
Evil
loved
plans.
it. They loved
Right?
it. And spoke highly about
Guess
it.
what?
And they enacted it.
It's
Right?
a part 2 that manifests that.
Oh,
That's right.
That's
That's
why I don't
coming
like it.
soon. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it's in the power of their hand. And they covet fields.
So like, can I say, Elder? These niggas is so fucking fucked up. They already got Jake against Jake in the neighborhood. You understand? Like you set a manager up.
Right.
I don't gotta do a low level wickedness no more. I can do some high level shit now because I done made you niggas kill each other.
Pretty much. But here, I'm gonna share this with you too. There's another thing that happened during all of this to add insult to injury in the late 1800s was the Dawes Roll. And I'm gonna read you this AI lie. All right, I'm gonna read you this AI lie, which means AI is often programmed. And when and we found out too, when it tells the truth, it adjusts and changes the information.
Damn.
Like a brother got AI to admit that the name of the Lord is actually Yahweh, and he screenshotted it. The water YAHAWASHI he did YAHAWASHI, but he went back in to show it.
The next day
they changed it.
Yeah.
All right, but here,
Damn.
this is the Dawes Rolls, and it says, and we all know that the Dawes Rolls were the $5 Indians, which were basically Edomites that signed the Dawes Roll because why? They were able to get land. They were able to get free college education for their children, for their families, for generations to come, and receive checks from the casinos. We know that the majority of the people that signed the Dawes Roll were white people. Now let's see what they say. This is factual history. This is why they want AI to control everything. It's not actually AI can be what's the word that I'm looking for? Manipulated. It can be altered. It can be altered. It can be exactly programmed. It's not going to be. It's not going to actually just be free roaming. It's going to have a purpose.
Yep.
And it's given orders, and so it stays within a certain.
Stay in the parameters.
Exactly.
Yeah, it can be
Here,
So it's not true.
Yeah,
All right.
Sky.
Because when they actually let AI run free,
It came
back around right, that was around 2000.
like 12
12 or 13, it came back and said that the Edomites, and they literally called them Edomites. The white people are Edomites, and they're the problem here on earth, and you would eliminate,
Oh, I remember that.
and you
I
would
do remember
eliminate the
that.
world's
Yeah.
problem if you eliminate white people.
Yeah.
That's what the AI came back and said. There was a couple
I
MIT,
do remember.
Oh, let me
that.
reprogram.
there was a couple MIT
They say
students.
that shit again.
Yeah, there was a couple MIT students that once again, there was a couple MIT students
Right?
that did this program and set it
Let it
loose
loose.
on the internet, and that was what it came back with. And they scrubbed that shit and removed it, and you cannot find the results of that anywhere.
I got two different answers right now. When I did the land claim, first it said about the unmarried whites first. Then when I asked for it again, it said AI's answer, and then it said it was for 640 acres for a married couple, and then it said single whites. So it didn't say unmarried whites like it did before. So even
So
when
they
it
make
says,
adjustments,
yeah,
right?
it basically
It's
adjusts
a
when you
program.
keep looking into it.
It's called a program. AI is artificial and it's a program, and it corrects itself. And they have handlers that go in and make sure they change the code.
It's set to
Even on
deceive.
Chat GPT, they give you updates. What's the updates? That's them going in and fixing and tweaking
Because somebody has looked up something and found something, and it probably gives off an alarm, and then they go in and reprogram. So it's all bullshit. But let me finish this. And then you bring out what you got, brother. It says the Dawes Rolls officially titled the final rolls of citizens and freedmen of the 5 civilized tribes of Indian territory are the records the individuals who were accepted as eligible for tribal membership in the Cherokee, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Creek, and Seminole nations. All right, which I'm a part of the Seminole nations. So is that brother over there. All right, now, but you had untold thousands of white people who signed the Dawes Rolls who are part of these nations. That's why they're always at the powwows. Right. And the so-called white people are the ones that are actually getting the checks from the casinos when they're actually bloodline natives who can prove it, including the ones that look so-called black. They're disregarded by the people who controls the Dawes Rolls. We've all seen the video and heard the video when he was calling in, and then, well, the hell with your records and your documents. You're black. Right. All right? In 1882, in Virginia, there was an act that was done, and that act classified freedmen Negroes and former slaves. All right, and it also classified natives as Negroes, as the same people, because they are the same people. All right, and then you had census enumerators that reclassified a large majority of Native Americans as Negro to prevent them from taking part in what I'm reading right now, and that's not mentioned. All right, it says, here's a note and more detailed explanation. Purpose. The Dawes Rolls were created by, somebody get Isaiah 25:15, Baba Kusha. The Dawes Rolls were created by the United States Dawes Commission, authorized by Congress in 1893 to execute the General Allotment Act of 1887, also known as the Dawes Act. The Dawes Act. This act aimed to assimilate Native Americans to mainstream U.S. society by dividing tribal lands into individual allotments, effectively ending communal land ownership. And the real natives are still to this day on fucked up reservations. Well, many of them is 2025 and they still don't have running water, nor indoor toilets.
A lot of them
they
live
still
in
have the trailer parks and outhouses. Still to this day. All right.
And
where's they fucking check from the casino? Hold on, brother. Let me finish this. It says the act is aimed to. I read that part. The 5 civilized tribes. The Dawes Commission is focused on Cherokee. So fuck the other tribes. All right. It focused on the 5 civilized tribes. And see, the reason they were called that because these were all of these groups of white people who had signed the Dawes Roll were claiming Cherokee, Chickasaw, Choctaw Creek, Muskogee, and Seminoles. You see, that's why the other tribes weren't. No, they're not civilized. The Sioux, the Comanche, no, not them, because they were real Gadites and Reubenites. You understand? That's what's happening here. But it says, who had established relatively stable and settled communities in what is now Oklahoma. The rolls also included freemen formerly enslaved African Americans. Remember what they did? They took natives and reclassified them as Negroes. Okay? All right? That's why you got these groups of jakes out there that's always trying to say that the natives were black too. Well, they were, but they still were natives though. They didn't come from West Africa. They were already here. Right. Yes, they were. But the same slaves that came over from West Africa and those natives that were here all originally came from Israel. That's it. Okay? They still came from the same place originally. Yeah. It said the rolls also included freemen formerly enslaved African Americans who had been emancipated after American Civil War and were their descendants. All right, you got to remember too, that the Reubenite tribes, the Seminoles, took in thousands of Negroes. All right, so that's where you got your black Seminoles.
Yeah.
All right, which they refused to make a movie about that because it would expose too much history. That's what, just like they won't make a modern movie about the Maccabees.
That's right.
And
Okay.
as a matter, I would say every every time you see a so-called black, right, they actually be Reuben.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes the color don't matter.
Yeah.
Because Jake
And I
really
see a
be
lot
Gad.
of-
They be Gad.
I see a lot of Jake with them Gadite and Reubenite features
Yep.
all the time. You can clearly see it now.
Yeah.
Now we in this troop, we had to understand. I see it. You see it all the time, man.
They said that was that if you were so-called black looking back in the day, you were a Native American Indian, but you refused to go to a particular reservation, they classified you as Negro.
Yeah.
So you would not be
Exactly.
called
That's what made John Horse
That shit off.
take many of his tribal members south across America, southeast, across Louisiana and Mississippi down into Mexico. All right, and they left a lot of people in Mississippi and Louisiana. There's a lot of
Damn,
Reubenites
that's
in
that way you
Mississippi and
get people
Louisiana,
down there.
and they went into Africa. I mean into Mexico, and John Horse, the Reubenites were given a huge plot of land down there. All right, they have a whole town down there of Reubenites. Okay, that have intermingled with Issachar, and they made John Horse a general. All right, in their army because he actually we were playing the Mexican before we started the old house, the old dance song, the Mexican, and the whole song is about the Alamo. John Horse, the Reubenite from Florida, fought in the fucking Alamo against Esau with the Mexicans. All right, so did Irish. Okay, it's a lot of history that's kept from us, man.
The battalion in St. Patrick.
And Reuben and Judah, it's known, but Reuben and Judah in Mississippi, they collided together, man.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of Reubenites in Mississippi, a lot of Reubenites in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
I got a precept.
Read it out, brother.
This is Isaiah 10. I'm gonna start at 1. Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees and that right grievousness which they have prescribed, because they always put in these unrighteousness, like y'all said, they separating them, disclassifying them all as Negroes and all of that. To do this, to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widow may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless. That's the whole point, to rob us, divide us, and keep us segregated and destroyed and not having anything and keeping us poor.
And the thing is, on the casinos, when I lived in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, and the Chippewas were up there, and I got a firsthand, experience dealing with the natives there, and the guys there. They got checks, but their checks was equivalent to like maybe $500-$700 a month type checks. And guess what they did? They were leaving a motherfucking trailer, motherfucking parts for the majority of them, except the top chiefs, whatever. And everybody didn't get the same pay. That's why they those with the dogs rolls, the Edomitish blood, whatever. They get all the stake of the casino. They get
to go to schools free too.
Yes. And guess what? Majority of those Gadites are doing? They're living just like niggas and like it look like the damn near projects. And half the time they high strung out on the same. They roll to them. They give their neighbor to drink. They're all alcoholic, drug addicts, and do all. They're the ones who get in trouble. My place got 40,000 people, all 90% so-called white. All right, and then but guess who's the number one person in trouble in that whole region? Even though they're on the reservation, 10-15 minutes away.
Every place where there's a reservation, there's a lot of murder and rape of Gadite women by white men.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
They catch them because a lot of them alcoholics. They go off the reservation, go to bars and get drunk, and they get raped and killed by white men. It happens all the fucking time, and it doesn't make the fucking media. All right, happens all the time, man.
What you got? Precept, just going into the whole
Shit
thing,
fucked up, man.
because the scriptures told us why not to be dealing with Esau, because this would happen. This is Sirach 12 and 10. I'll start at 10, but the point is in 12. It says, never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness, right? And so Gad, even though Esau, he showed you, he broke 500 treaties, he showed you he wasn't a man of integrity, right? But this is what happened. Verse 12, it says, set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. So how the hell they managed to strike up, you know, this deal where the so-called natives that they own the casinos, but it end up all the money, all the revenue, all the proceeds end up going to Edomites.
Right, they get their cut.
You see what I'm
They
saying?
get their cut, man.
So you was supposed to, man, you wasn't supposed to have no dealings with this guy whatsoever, man.
Hey, a gift, hey, but that's why I forget. A gift destroys the heart, man.
Hey, Salah.
Oh, and they fought hard because of like Geronimo. There's a lot of Gadites and Reubenites still say, man, they would rather die because they got
Many of them did.
tears.
Many of them did. And when you know the story of Geronimo, they killed him like a coward. They stabbed him in the fucking back when he was an old man.
When he was an old man.
When he was an old man.
Damn.
Because he got basically, his people were just giving in and selling out. He's like, I'm fighting for y'all and for fucking what?
I heard that.
All right? And
that.
but you know, it had to happen.
Damn.
Prophecy had to be fulfilled, man. Yeah, but that's what the mighty Geronimo, that's how he went out. So fucking Cracker stabbed him in the back with a fucking bayonet.
Just so he could say, I killed Geronimo.
So he could say that I'm the one that killed Geronimo.
Motherfucker.
That would the thing come, look out, Geronimo.
It's like another mistake. The Gadites in the classical tribes, they went matrilineal, matriarchal. We supposed to go paternal because they went by paternity. They'll kill Esau out their tribes and stuff. Yeah, because that's what Esau do.
Well, everything had to happen.
Yeah. Got to fulfill the prophecy.
They were going off.
Yep.
I got a precept.
Bring it out, brother.
Yeah, this is Psalm chapter 55, verse 20. He has put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him. He has broken his covenant.
Every single one, every single treaty, every single word, everything he say when he come out in an election, I'm going to do this and do that and do this. He don't do shit.
Well, look at how sad, angry, and pissed off and ready for civil war the MAGA people are.
MAGA Knights.
Hey, you want to know what's so funny about it though? Even when he was at his height, like the 50s and the 60s and stuff, and he would make certain movies and shit, he would even go in on and tell on himself. Why? Because he said he would have the natives say, "You speak with a forked tongue." Anyway, you speak with a forked tongue.
In the movie Kathmandu, with a young, what's her name? Jane Fonda.
Oh yeah.
You know, they have the whole scene where the Jane was hot. She was young. But they had the whole scene with the Gadite.
Right.
And he was what do you call it, the cowhand. All right. And the farm owner was telling him that he was an Israelite. That he talked to a senator of this here United States.
Man.
And he said, "You from the lost tribes of Israel?" He's like,
Oh, I remember that cowboy. I remember that cowboy scene. I remember that.
He's like, no, I don't speak Hebrew. He's like, go ahead and
Yeah.
say something in Hebrew. He's like, he's like,
Somebody,
he said, now you're playing like you don't know. He said, the rabbi said that this is Hebrew, and you say Hebrew, and that's what he's like, I'm off to the lost tribes. I'm not special. I'm just an Indian.
Oh, so like he said, the chief was speaking to the rabbi in Hebrew. He said they talking to each other in Hebrew and stuff, man.
And so, even in the movie, Blazing Saddles, somebody can look it up on the internet.
Yeah.
Look up the advertisement. The war dress, the headdress
that
the chief is wearing has the paleo, the real Hebrew, not the Assyrian after the fact Hebrew, which isn't the real Hebrew. The Assyrian script is not the original or the real Hebrew.
And that was a popular movie.
But if you look it up, Blazing Saddles, which is funny as fuck.
That absolutely was.
All right, it is. If you've never seen it, it's a funny movie. But in the advertisement of the movie, the headdress it's got the Assyrian Hebrew. Yep. There it is, brother. Yep.
Choice of everybody, bro.
Yeah, walking around. But yeah, you're right. And it's funny how you can see something when you're a kid, and then it connects later on.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh shit.
Actually, really, Yahweh made those movies to show us.
Yeah.
So they put that in your face, man.
Why would they do that? And 99%.
I think it's the Raiders of the Lost Ark. They had the Phoenician. Yeah. But they put it in there. Because why? The oldest Hebrew relics known to man were found among the natives here in the Americas, even older than the ones that was found among the Negroes. But yet you still got people that want to discredit, you know. I played that video from like 11, 12 years ago with Superman. That Jake, that Gadite that made the little rap beat with the flute and all that stuff. I played it for Ashi, had never seen it. New brothers ain't seen that. We got to bring that back, man. Rose has been in for like the last, 6, 7, 8 years. They ain't never seen that, man. And you watch that video and it's clear to see that they're Hebrews, man. That they're Israelites. And he was in full Gadite ceremonial attire.
And there's a lot of movies.
Pop locking, rapping, singing, mixing, scratching.
And it's a lot of more movies that actually expose how certain chants you can hear yo ho yo ho, you can hear Yahweh and in a broken dialect you can hear it to them
especially war chants.
You know what?
Especially war chants.
Just like you put on that video, pull it up. You don't play like
there been cases where
the one I just spoke about.
Gadites go to the state of Israel.
No, Superman.
And when they speak their language, the Israeli government send them home. They say you got Gadite, you can't be saying those chants and stuff because it got the true name in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which Superman?
I'm about to send it to you.
Okay.
Prayer loop song. It went right to it. There it is. I'm sending it straight to you.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
As soon as you see it, you'll remember it. We haven't seen it in years. But there's a lot of newer brothers, they ain't never seen this video.
Yeah, and like you said,
I did lessons on this video.
And like you said,
many years ago.
A lot of the movies like that, man, they had them, and they be tapping into the name of Yahweh, and this, that, and other. Drawing on the power, get ready to go to war. Yeah. And that's what made.
I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah, you remember.
To a part.
Well, no, just let it play a little bit. But we're not seeing it. Doesn't do it to justice.
Yeah.
You gotta see when you see it.
Yeah.
You gotta power it up.
Because he's mixing all the sounds together.
I remember that from years ago. Yeah. Damn, that shit was fire. 7, 8 years ago.
You start beatboxing.
Yeah, I'm gonna get away from
That's how we all make music. You layer it. That's how you make. That's how we record. You layer music together.
Oh, that's cold right there.
What's that script that say? Gas is a truth to overtake him, but the end, he's so man. He started rapping. Somebody got a hold that. Gag gonna overtake him too.
Yeah. I'm gonna get that on deck. Bring it back this way. That shit was wrong here.
Baba, please don't put your wine on the floor, Baba. That's beautiful.
He got a boom box, a turntable. He started scratching.
No, this shit is fun.
I'm gonna get it.
Then he started rapping about loving everybody. That's how you know it's Jake.
Yeah.
Okay, Jam.
But the point been made, man.
Right.
All right. So Esau's in denial of the truth of the matter. You got a lot of Jakes is in denial because you still got Jakes that want to deny the Northern Kingdom, man. Right. And it's beyond obvious. If you're a spiritual person, you can clearly see and hear that guy. When he breaks down, he starts pop locking and shit. Yep. He didn't even start rapping yet. He starts rapping towards the end of it, man.
Hey, so like you wouldn't have so-called black culture going for the Gadites because half your culture is from the tribe of Gad is half of the tribe of Gad, so-called American Indians. Then half of it from the tribe of Judah, so-called blacks. You know, so you can't separate the two, man. No matter how much you try.
They even showed you that in 12 Years a Slave.
Right.
Yeah, I love that
Yeah,
scene.
when you know when the
When you
slaves
got
ran up on Gad in the forest.
And
Yeah.
it was a
Like,
break
yo,
scene.
we
It was a
good.
break scene where they Jake sneaking on this. Oh shit! And guy like say, "Oh shit!" And then they cut the black. And then when they come back up, they all get
They
fired.
Yeah, they got the fire going and cooking and shit.
Oh, okay. You don't like him? I don't like that motherfucker either.
Right. Yeah, they were all sitting there. Yeah, can't stand them white folks.
Same as you. Same. You did what to the dog?
Right.
And even then, some of us, you got to remember, they beat the Hebrew out of a lot of Jake coming over here.
And they beat
They beat the Hebrew out of Gad here.
Yeah.
When they separated the children from the schools and put them, cut their hair, you know, and then let them speak their tongue because the Gadites were speaking broken Hebrew, man.
And that's how they were able to communicate with the slaves. You know, and just if you go back, you'll find that the main number one interpreter that came on with Cristobal Colon, who they ignorantly called Christopher Columbus, and there was 5 interpreters. They were like, I don't know if the rest of them they spoke it or what they shut up. How you gonna have 5 interpreters from the main one Hebrew, not the rest of them Hebrew, if that's the AI shit?
They have 5 more Moorish Hebrew speaking interpreters.
And they showed you that.
And
they showed you that in 14. They showed you that in the movie.
Was
1492.
The main one name was Detorius.
Yep, that was
Hey, Ellie, you're right. You know what? You know what's so cold? The Lord so cold. And we read Daniel the 7th chapter. It talks about the French War, the Spanish War, and the Britain War. Right? That's already written in the scriptures already.
And all these land grabs came as a result when all those wars were over.
Because
all that land was available.
Yep.
So you can't get around the truth.
Man, the Lord already prophesied.
Did you want me to play some more of this too? Elder?
Spain sold land to the Americas on paper because that was their home. One thing it did allow finally was for women to be landowners, but it was repealed in 1855. Now in 1862, we have the Homestead Act. This, interestingly enough, was championed by Andrew Johnson when he was in the Senate. Then he came on to be Lincoln's vice president, and it was signed by Lincoln in 1862. It offered you 160 acres of land, free and clear, if you could improve it. So you had to live on the land, farm it, and stay there, improve it for 5 years. This is covered in Little House on the Prairie. That's what they were doing. It encouraged you to move to the Plains states, sort of the middle of the country, and set up farms. It was meant to encourage the poor to middle class individual farm. But of course, most people couldn't even afford to get started because you needed gear, you needed a wagon, you needed horses, you needed a plow, you needed all of this stuff to even work the land and build a home. You needed lumber, you needed stuff, you needed support, infrastructure, and capital to get started. And of course, it became a hotbed for fraud. So all these poor people couldn't bother to get started. They just didn't even know how to approach any of this. It's like being dropped into the wilderness, like a game of Survivor. Okay, go. Most people couldn't pull it off. So what happened? Miners, mining companies, lumber companies, railroads came in and took advantage of this deal and set up shop. However, it was the greatest expansion of individual land ownership in this country, and it was mostly taken advantage of by white people. 93 million American citizens are considered direct descendants of homesteaders that are still alive.
That's a third. That's a third of the nations. A third of the nation has a cumulative, generational, autonomous wealth that they were able to pass on from generation to generation to generation for fucking free.
Pull us up by our bootstraps.
And exactly. And she even mentions that. She said, how you gonna pull yourself up by bootstraps when you never even were given a pair of fucking boots? Go ahead, brother.
You're just giving the strings.
Today, that's almost 1 out of 3 American citizens are a beneficiary of this generational wealth that came from the practice of homesteading. Then, of course, there's the 40 acres and a mule deal.
That's what makes it so bad, because when you have arguments with these Edomites, they'll say, my forefathers came and worked hard. They came from nothing.
Because they were told that bullshit.
That's right.
They were told. It's the same way when you listen to small Israeli children. They've been told, that they're special and everyone else is beneath them.
That's right.
They've been lied to. So they really believe that.
They do.
And so they defend it because in their mind they're right until they finally, because the older ones know.
Right.
I got a question though, Elder Malcolm.
Go ahead.
What do homesteading? What does that mean?
Homesteading basically it means welfare recipients.
Basically,
That's what it means.
Right.
Okay.
They gave them free land, so it's a homestead. Now you go to that land and you build your homestead.
and you see, here's the thing. They talk about how.
Wait, hold on. So you talking about some shit like how you doing? This your house? So I can go in. This my shit now.
Pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Homestead. You've been discovered joke.
Oh, okay. I got
Right.
you. I'm just trying to figure out what that means.
No, that's what it said. It said one of the biggest problems or controversies that it caused was displacement of the natives.
Right.
So like the elder said, is yes, if you're
You call it homesteading. That's like a fancy word to say. I just took your shit.
Land grab.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Damn, that shit fucked
like
up.
we say, we gonna go to Lincoln Park, go to Hoffman Estates, and be like, on the biggest mansion door.
Yeah. You discovered your house.
Yeah, may I help you? Oh yeah, I just discovered you.
That's it.
You're in my bed.
Yeah.
Right. So you can get out. You can leave the Benz in the garage. You can leave the Bentley there too.
That's it.
But you just leave.
Oh, no. Actually, I have to lock the door because you can't leave because the wish that's up in the bed is mine.
So the thing is that they've been discovered now.
Okay.
So and the thing is that this was all a part of what? Manifest Destiny.
Yeah.
This is what they pushed. That's why Matt Walsh was proud of Manifest Destiny.
Exactly.
Not knowing and understanding or acknowledging that Manifest Destiny has a part 2.
Well,
Okay.
So they say that the road west was paved in gold, but it was paved in blood because they had to disrupt all the natives' patterns, hunting, basically hunting patterns.
Yeah.
All right, Esau did more than just pave the fucking road. He killed it, and he has all that blood.
He weakened them and destroyed them. The same way he brought disease, because now it's also a fact. I'm gonna do a lesson on it more as well.
You know
but
what?
There's a fact that the Black Plague wasn't spread by rats like they said. It was spread by people. Esau brought that disease, and that disease wiped out Jake, and Esau was able to.
Yeah, that's all about.
And when they were taking Europe away from Western Asia, as it was called before the Renaissance.
Western Asia.
They was able to take Western Asia and then later named it Europe, away from the from the black so-called black people that were ruling. They weakened and destroyed them with those diseases, and it wasn't spread by rats. That's the propaganda, the lie. It was spread by them. Esau brought that. He brought that filth and wiped out those people, man. And when that was happening was when Esau took over. When Jake was in France, that wasn't happening. They weren't throwing piss and shit out.
Elder Malcolm, what you call that when they were throwing the piss out the window? They was like,
what they call it. That's where they get umbrellas from.
Yeah.
And that's also where they invented high heels so that their feet will be elevated.
Right.
Piss.
I forget what you call it though. It's like,
that's your Renaissance, because that before then, if you go look at all those castles that were built there, those were built before the Renaissance. And Jake had built. They had street lights. They had castles. They had everything.
They had sewage and irrigation and all kind of.
But then when Esau came down, he came out of the caves. He didn't know what the fuck he was doing. So he came out there grunting out of braying,
ooking and booking it.
He
was the real ooking and booking.
He the real caveman.
So easy, any man can do it.
Yeah, when they draw them little cartoons with the big lip, super black,
Jibba.
Yeah, that's really his
Hey, that black with that dirt that was on their ass because they wasn't washing it.
Right.
But I was gonna say though in that thing where she was talking about that them farming, but that's why a lot of them cats didn't even go. A lot of them wound up, instead of going into farming where they had to try to plow fields and this, that, and the other, since that grass was out there, a lot of them went into just cattle.
herding.
Herding and shit.
That's your modern show, 1883. The Dalton, that show that was so popular with
Bonanza.
that one, but the latest one,
Oh, the latest.
that
Oh,
1883 Yellowstone. Because
Yeah,
that's that land that we're talking. That's why I couldn't watch Yellowstone, because I knew how they got the land.
Right.
The Dalton family.
That's right.
All right, because they were the recipients of all that stolen land, passed down from generation to generation. Yellowstone is a perfect example of what we're talking about.
Exactly.
All right, a perfect fucking example.
I got
All right,
something to support that.
these brothers have scriptures. He has scriptures. But go ahead, bring them
No,
out.
this one, the scripture is just what you were talking about when you brought up that farmland. I was holding this. It says direct government farm payments forecast increased to 2025. So all the land they stole, this is a U.S. Department of Agriculture. It says they U.S. using the farm bill, they gave these people $42.4 billion for 2025.
Hold on. You gave 42 point what billion dollars
For 2025.
but the biggest landholder now is Gates.
I'm just telling you what it says, and then just check this out. This I put it in the info room, and it says, and then they gave them reflects higher anticipated payments from supplemental and ad hoc disaster assistance. So even if the farm ain't producing, they still get the money.
But that's what I'm saying. So
Right.
So
hold on. You gotta break that down, brother.
That's
this right here. He putting it up on the screen. You gotta break it down.
This is the
That's a German tapestry.
Yeah, wild man versus the Moors, and this is when Esau Edom. Where you'll see him coming right here, and you see them fighting the Moors. This is a famous tapestry going dating
It's
back.
about 1500s in Germany.
Right.
That's what that is.
I'll put it up 'cause the brother
It was
Swing it
about
this
the
way.
mid 1500s in
Swing it
Germany.
this way.
White wildmen. Because that's what they tried. They took Viking history and intermingled it with wildman history to try to make it look like the Edomites.
Oh, that's what get that idea though.
But the truth of them exactly. But they were really just the wild man, and it was Jake. And see, so when you look at the 1500s medieval times, the Dark Ages, Jake was ruling all those lands where King Arthur and King James and King George and all that was all so-called black people. And that tapestry from the 1500s is evidence of it. That's a receipt.
And the brother from GMS Melbourne, he mentioned it, which reminded me of it. I'm familiar with it, and I said, let me pull it up.
All right, well, bring those three scriptures that you brothers was holding.
I got this is Micah 2:1, because y'all was talking about how they say I discover your shit.
He never finished it. He never finished it, so go ahead.
So this Micah 2:1, it says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work of evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it's in the power of their hand, because they do this wickedness. And they cover field and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. And that's what they do. They steal your heritage, everything about you. They taking your house, which is your family. They stealing all of that too.
Language.
They stealing they even stealing the goddamn penny, the shoe, everything. They ain't leaving nothing. They'll take the damn toenail.
That's like the Grinch came back and took the crumb from the mouse.
Oh yeah, man. They don't care. This is how this Edomite get down.
No, it's called
the devil,
man.
man.
Call that, Elder? It's called homestead, right?
Yeah.
What you call that?
But the technical definition of homestead means a house.
Right.
They took a house, and that's why homestead now means taking over somebody else's.
So that's what the devil do.
No, it's
That's how he roll.
because they have to rewrite and word things so that it doesn't just say colonizer.
New speak,
Right, exactly. Right, so they just don't, so that they because they hate it when they get called colonizers.
Because
It sounds more bogus when you call it a land grab.
Right?
because
Land grab for whites.
This is Nahum 3:1. Woe to the bloody city is full
That's
of
it.
lies
That's it.
and robbery. Depart not, Esau stole the land. The master disaster.
That's right. And he transformed himself.
He gets some more. He gets some more.
Yeah.
Now, I got a quick precept because we was going into the second part of that manifest destiny. All right, this is Lamentations 1, and I'm gonna start with verse 21. They have heard that I have sighed. There is none to comfort me. All my enemies have heard of my trouble. They are glad that thou hast done it. Thou wilt bring the day that thou hast called, and they should be like unto me. Like all their wickedness come before thee, and do unto them as thou hast done to all my slackers. Also that thou hast done unto me for all my transgressions, for my sighs are many, and my heart is faint. So all the things we're going through, all right, because of course, yeah, we
Go
know.
to 4:21-22.
But now, you have to pay for it, man.
I got one in the
All
back.
right, the curses is coming off of us and sticking to you. Lamentations 4:22, perfect.
21-22.
Yes, sir.
Lamentations 4:21, verse
Perfect.
22. Rejoice, be glad, O daughter of Edom,
Hope you're watching, Matt Walsh.
that dwellest in the land of Uz.
Oh, you's a bitch, Matt Walsh.
The cup also shall pass unto thee.
Guess what? The cup of slavery, nigga.
Hard R.
No, for real.
And it's
It
gonna be
said
double.
it said the same cup that we drunk, that wasn't supposed to drink it. We drunk it, but you gonna drink it with no chaser,
Sure,
nigga.
he said double.
The
He
fuck
said
you talking about?
He said double.
So
Y'all supposed to rejoice in that, man.
Absolutely.
That's our rejoicing, man. We can't say that because it's truth.
Thou should be drunken
Yep.
and shall make thyself naked.
Nigga.
Right? Hey, he's gonna have to drink what? The dregs.
Mhm.
The dregs of the cup.
Yep.
Verse
Yep.
22. The punishment of thy iniquity, like the brothers all round up. He said what? That's our salvation.
Yeah.
That's what we're supposed to be.
You supposed to be happy about
rising up
that.
and getting happy for. All right, that psalm says what? They had high praises in their voices.
Yep.
All right, while they was doing what? Executing judgment.
A two-edged sword in their hand.
The Bible is the Lord's theater, his movie
Yep.
about revenge. I just rewatched
Revenge is
The
sweet.
Last Blood, the very last Rambo movie.
Oh, Rambo, yeah.
But Rambo died.
Oh, Rambo will always be wrong.
But Rambo got his vengeance and died peacefully on his property, on his fucking porch.
Yep.
After he slayed all his enemies.
They
All right,
slaughtered his
because the best
how I
stories
wanna
are
go out.
stories of revenge.
Right.
All right.
I got scripture for you.
Now,
God,
let me finish this. Barbecue shot. Can you finish this?
It says,
Please.
the punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity.
Guess what? The scripture say, affliction will not rise a second time, man.
Right. For you
That's
to
that's the beautiful thing about this, bro. We not going. Hey,
So that means all the shit that they got planned for us to oppress us, the shaming,
It's gonna come up short.
the oppression, it's all gonna come up short because
The ghettos are for
they're
them.
not gonna rise up this time.
no.
So as soon as they start doing it,
Yes.
all right, it's not gonna last long because now YAHAWASHI, once you start putting your hands on these
Man,
men,
come on, man.
Hey, it
All right.
says, he will visit thy iniquity. How he's going to visit? Isaiah 47.
Judgment.
Third verse. All right, he ain't going to meet you as a man. O daughter of Edom, he will discover thy sin.
Come on.
and he gonna raise his men up. He gonna lift up that standard, and his men gonna put to ass.
Okay.
Yep.
This is Exodus 21:16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death.
And there it is. That's just part of manifest destiny.
That's part two.
That you part two. All right. You if the stolen property get found in your hand, you're gonna get put to death, man.
That's right.
All right.
And he
Does
ain't,
the rock say the man that sees the fall of his enemy?
God.
That's it.
Man.
You got something?
Yeah,
Kanasha?
you brothers bring them out. Kanasha, you've been holding something for a while, man. Bring it out, brother.
This Job 20:23. When he is about to fill his belly,
Perfect.
Yahweh shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So he's not going to get a chance to accomplish everything he wants to, man. The Lord going to catch his ass with his drawers down, bro.
What verse you at?
This Job 20:23.
Go up a little bit. And the
Yes, sir.
fullness of his sufficiency, I think it's 2021 something.
Yep, 22. Job 20:22. It says, in the fullness of his sufficiency.
When you got it all.
He just signed a
Bro, yeah,
bill.
I ain't want all that shit.
Trump just signed a bill that they're going to implement to finish the digital process.
Yep.
So they're really looking to go digital come June.
Hey, I'm
And I hope so. I hope that it's June. For that simple fact, it's gonna be poetic justice
Yes.
against Nate Satan and them zombies at IUIC and Israel United in Christianity.
Bitch ass nigga.
in Mexico, they got this corp system where they're basically
Fuck outta here.
centralizing all the information. Basically, you know how in New York they did that act about that one autistic kid that was missing. So it was this act where they wanted to introduce where certain kids, depending on their medical status,
Implantation.
they'd have an implant so they could track them. In Mexico, since they found that massive graveyard of them, all them people missing, what they're saying is, hey, look, now we're gonna centralize all the information, which means we're gonna put together social, which is everything. Jake's been wondering about everything.
Just like the real ID. Then who you got in there?
Exactly, brother.
You got Elon centralizing what? All the computers for what? One database, right? Now, even with this digital market that's getting ready to come out,
Flourish.
you see what they're doing. Mississippi, they just passed, hey, no more income tax for regular citizens. Elon Musk is paying people millions of dollars. Just, hey, thank you for voting. They're buying people's souls.
Well,
So when that MOT come out,
that's also because the Federal Reserve is failing.
That's right.
Right, it's failing, and it's too much corruption, and it's failing. All of American systems going to come down. And I find it funny, very ironic too, with all this wasting money and all these incentives that money that they can't control. The DOG has said nothing about Title 4D.
Right.
Absolutely nothing.
Right. It's extortion.
Okay.
That's what it is.
It's just funny that they've been so quiet about that. You know, as he's getting rid of shit, and they ain't trying to get rid of that though.
Right.
Even though because it's funny how American citizens are complaining about how they're doing things and going around, and all of a sudden Americans are concerned with people doing things that violate the Constitution. Title 4D violates the Constitution, probably worse than any other thing that they got out there.
Right.
And if you don't know, that Title 4G is the child support system.
Okay.
It's a complete violation of the Constitution because with the way they enforce it.
Right.
They can actually enforce it differently, and it could be within the law, but it's way out of the bounds of the law. They actually break the law and using the courts to separate the powers. And seeing that they put you under their shit. Basically, they operate under their own law within the law of the land, and the Constitution is supposedly the supreme law of the land. And anything, including IRS, Federal Reserve, because they operate outside of the Constitution as well.
We
They
fucked up.
operate illegally. No, because this is what I'm telling you is fact. You can look this thing up for yourself. That wages are not supposed to be taxed.
Absolutely.
They're not
Ain't
taxable. Earnings are taxable.
Capital gains.
If you punch a card and you trade time for dollars, meaning you sign in and you sign out for work, that's trading time for dollars. You're earning wages. Wages are not taxables. That's why it's in parentheses.
Right.
All right. By them, what's taxable is earnings.
Capital gains.
Right. Capital. That's earnings.
That's it. Exactly.
Anything that earns money. If I got a business where I'm sitting
Passive
home,
income.
I'm sitting on my ass and I'm earning money just sitting on my ass.
Passive income.
That's earnings. Passive income. That's taxable. A guy who goes out and busts his ass washing dishes, cooking, sweeping, building, whatever it is that he's doing, tapping on the computer, and then he clocks out and goes home. That guy's trading time for dollars. Wages are not supposed to be taxed. It's actually illegal to do so. They've been fucking over Americans for a long time.
Yeah.
So don't get mad now. You should have got mad a long time ago.
All
right.
You know, I figured out. Sometimes you get that mail, your whole fucking name being
capital letters
and large letters. Yeah, exactly. I've been wondering, like, why am I shit? Why you like a corporation?
Because that's the straw man that they create. They put the straw man under the contract and they make the physical you responsible for it.
Exactly.
It's all contractual law. It's all wickedness. That's how they commit their fraud. All right. Will somebody get Job 18? Did you hold some of Laha?
Oh. Yeah, I had Isaiah 33.
Okay. And what you got?
I was finishing.
Finish it out, brother.
This Job 20:22. It said, "In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, Yahweh shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him. It shall rain it upon him while he is eating."
There you go. And all it would have took was for every American to stand up and say, every American that works for a living, and say no. And they could have got rid of the IRS a long time ago.
Yeah.
All right. It's completely operating outside the perimeters of the law, and it's almost like it's a fourth part of the government because you letting the privately owned entities, Federal Reserve, IRS, that when no one elected any of them, rule override your three branches of government. That make rules over you, and they can't do that. Okay.
And guess what,
you
Elder?
got? And then somebody get Job 18. We
And guess what, Elder? The
start at verse 5.
Jacob's gonna rise up too. That's what it goes into. Jacob's gonna rise up too and say, "Fuck this government." Oh, what's that? Second.
Well, the Edomites are ready to do it now. All right, and they're ready to say, "Fuck Jake." Them racist ass right wingers. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They train in MMA. They look hot garbage. You know they got them MMA leagues that's only white guys. And they go to any other league, they don't get the flops.
The Foo Flops.
All right.
Go ahead. Who we got?
Here come the Foo Fighters.
You got scripture?
Go ahead.
This is Isaiah 33:1. Woe to thee that spoilest when thou was not spoiled, and dealest treachery, and they dealt not treacherously with thee.
Yeah. So now treachery is going to be, they're going to try to stop and stop doing treacherously, you know, and try to be peaceful with everyone, but it's too late for that. Everybody
wants peace now.
And everybody wants to be Rambo.
That's it.
All right. If you never seen that last movie, The Last Blood,
it was cold. That was good.
Man,
On his own land, control the environment. He know the whole thing.
He had tunnels and everything.
Yeah, going on, boy.
Yeah, man. But somebody get Job 18, start at verse 5, go all the way to 19, Baba Kushah.
This is Job chapter 18, verse 5.
Perfect.
Yeah, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. The steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. For he is cast into a net by his own feet.
And his own counsel is casting them down. That's why they get ready to go to war with each other. And they hurt each other. All right? These Edomites that feel so betrayed by MAGA and you know, I believed in you. I believed in America.
They gonna fight.
And you taking everything from me. Well, go ahead.
It says, and he walketh upon a snare.
It
says, the gin shall take him by
this
the
nigga that broke glass, turned the light off, and took your shoes.
Come on,
come on out. You trying to walk to the door.
Yeah.
All right, but go ahead, brother.
It says, the gin shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him. The snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. Terror shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. His strength shall be hunger bitten, and destruction shall be ready at his side.
Wow.
It shall devour the strength of his skin. Even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength.
Right. So he done brought all these bullets for Negroes and Hispanics, natives, and they're gonna end up pew-pewing each other.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
You're right against the left.
Oh, and it's deep.
Because you're gonna have them militant ass transgenders out there that know how to handle weapons. All right, go ahead.
Pissed off at the Bible Belt.
Right. It's ma'am. It says,
It's man.
it says his confidence shall be rooted.
Damn, that shit crazy. It's man, mom.
It's ma'am.
That shit crazy.
Right, be ready to fight you and shit.
Yeah.
Don't want their blood to get on
It says his confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors.
So when you look at the confusion and the chaos, the quagmire that they have gotten themselves into, where every form of government is failing, and then you got this dope that have to go in and find all this corruption and all this wasteful spending. And what it shows you is that the so-called white man was never apt to be in rulership. Right. That he's really not. You know, he right. They like if society would not run without us. Look at it.
Right.
Your society is all backwards and falling and the fuck upside down.
Right.
All right.
He's a pretender.
You're not apt to rule. But go ahead, brother.
That's it. He lied on his resume.
Sirach chapter 10 and 4 says, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will.
I was pulling. Go ahead, you got it.
Okay, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was pulling down. That's exactly what I was pulling it up.
Yeah, Sirach 10 and 4.
Yeah, I was. I was.
But you go all the way to 19.
Not yet.
Go ahead, brother.
It says,
and then we'll finish with that Sirach.
Job 18 and 15. It says, it shall dwell in his tabernacle, because it is none of his. Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation. His roots shall be dried up beneath, and above shall his branch be cut off.
The Lord said He's gonna totally kill this nigga.
That's right.
It's like
Branch.
It's so parabolic.
Yeah.
Branch is literally, you know, your dick, your sperm line.
I'm cutting everything off.
All right. You know, when you a branch of your father. Your father's a branch of his father.
Right.
He said his branch shall be cut off.
Well, it says the stem of Jesse.
Cut off from the vine.
It says, verse 17. It says his.
And isn't that what Arya said when she left that girl alive, and she told her, she left alive and said, because she killed every fucking body. The guy was looking for, where are my fucking sons? Where are those no good? Where are my fucking sons? And she still had on a mask. And she said, well, they're right here. They're right here, sire. She said, well, where are they? And then she pointed to his plate. You've been eating them. She killed his sons and put them in the food. And so that was all his family and his people out there. She poisoned the wine because she had dressed up like him.
Then what is that?
No, this shit is cold. And there was a girl standing there, and she said, "Then first let's have a toast to all my family and friends." She became a master disguise. So she became nobody. They called it, you know, the whole thing. You become nobodies. You can become anyone.
Damn.
So she didn't already kill this nigga, fed him his sons, and now she dressed up like him, and his whole family is at a feast celebrating when they killed her family. So they killed her family. So it's all about vengeance.
That's a twisted shit.
So Arya says, you know, let us drink. You know, she's sounding like him and everything. And they all drank, and then she didn't drink hers, and she started looking at him.
Why could be
And all of a sudden they all start falling, throwing up blood and shit like that, because the girl was about to drink wine, and she said, "No, not you." And to waste my wine on a woman.
Oh.
And so the girl didn't drink.
What is it?
And then the girl watched everybody die. All right, and then she pulled off the mask and told the girl, because she was from Winterfell. All right, and she told her, "You let everybody know what happened here, and that winter has come.
What's his name?
Winter's coming for these motherfuckers."
Man,
right?
bro. That's right.
All right.
Read
That's the Game of Thrones, brother.
Oh, okay, okay.
But go ahead, finish it, brother.
The bishop name out of your mouth.
That shit cold, bro.
Job 18 and 17. His remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the street. He shall be driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world.
And chased out of the world. So as much as now you want to make peace, now you want to be friends. And because Esau does not want to pay for what he's done.
Right.
That angel of light ain't working no more. When he disguised himself like he's Superman and shit.
It's not good with
the
the
helping. The left hand side is being quiet now.
My weed is wearing off.
He has been discovered now for the devil who he is. And
the rabbit got the gun now.
Everybody is on Esau's ass. It's not just us.
Yeah.
Right? All of the information that came out. That was from an Edomite woman.
The documentary that the Elamite women were doing over there in Europe about what Esau did to the Indians, man, and the Chinese when he got them hooked on basically drugs and shit.
Yes.
Opium.
Yes, that's right, brother.
Turn them into whores and stuff. You know, and stole their land and their profits and did what he did.
And they even showed you that in what's that? End of the Dragon. Remember when Lee went down to the
ground? Yeah, that sellout selling it.
Yep.
That bad.
Well, go ahead, Capo, finish it out.
This is Job 18 and 19.
Yeah.
He shall neither have son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwelling.
There it is. Because if they kill your sons, but your brother got sons, then y'all still good. You're gonna kill your brother and your brother's sons too.
Nephew?
Right? There's gonna be no nephews. No more blood, none of your bloodline, man.
Nothing from nothing.
Right? Only your women, and the good looking ones gonna be used as bed wenches.
There you go.
Until it's time for them to be destroyed. Because I don't care how fine you was, how good the box was, you go into the fire with the rest of your people. When that day comes.
Disco Inferno.
Right? Be cold with it. Be like, remember the good times.
I'll get you later down.
To the fire you go.
And as will never be after that time period as a race of so-called Edomitish, whitish to reddish skin, pale people.
They're going to be erased from the earth. Thus said the Bible, not us.
That's it.
The Bible says it.
That's it.
Go read it for yourself.
That's it.
Let me bring this out.
Go ahead, brother.
So verse 20, Job 18 and 20.
Read on.
It says in the NLT, it says, people in the West are appalled at their fate.
Oh! Go ahead.
Read.
That's crazy. They will say this was the home of a wicked person,
Wow.
the place of one who rejected God.
Did not the rabbi say that Western society, Europe and America are Asaph? Western Christianity is Asaph, Esau. Well, some say Asaph, some say Esau.
Right.
All right.
That's crazy.
All right.
That's it.
Go ahead and finish it
That
out.
was it.
This is Job 30 and 8. They were children of fools. They children of base men. They were viler than the earth. This is Ecclesiasticus 10 and 4. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. Rules over it right now is the basis of men.
That's it.
That he is the scum of the earth. You cannot get no lower than Esau Edom.
All right.
All right, and that's why the Lord said he's going to eradicate this true virus out of the earth. Right?
And guess what? The Lord set up. He's setting up the already. Guess what? One that's profitable. Because what YAHAWASHI say? He said the kingdom of heaven within you.
That's right.
These people looking for a fucking temple. And guess what? We are the lively stones, man.
Right.
We are the
Hey, we not getting pushed to a corner. No. Hey, the scriptures say your prophet should not be pushed to a corner anymore, man.
Mm-hmm. They bad.
Nigga, after this, it's the kingdom of heaven.
That's right. That's right.
We the end though. That's why we so, bro. Look, we so proud of what's going on because the way they say, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, man.
Yeah, it is.
Wisdom of Solomon says
This our shit, man.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
Fuck Babylon, man.
We're gonna give all praises, all honor and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Hakwadash.
Kwam Yasharala.
Kwam Yasharala.
Abba Babal.
Abba Babal.
Turn those machines back on.
Somebody should have